My name is Marcus Reed, and I'm about to tell you how I brought down my billionaire wife's empire with nothing but a recording device and the patience of a man who'd been invisible for too long. She called me embarrassing in front of her donors, had her mother coach her on erasing me from family photos, and thought I'd just smile and stay quiet like a good little secret. But here's what Ava Whitmore didn't know. While she was practicing how to explain away our marriage to her precious board members, I was documenting every single word. What started as humiliation at a charity gala became the most calculated takedown in Boston high society history. And by the time I was done, the woman who called black husbands embarrassing learned exactly what embarrassment really looked like. The recording that destroyed everything? It happened in the last place she'd ever expect someone like me to be listening. If you're watching this, hit that subscribe button and tell me where you're from, because this story of quiet revenge and poetic justice is just getting started. I zip my only fitted suit while Ava adjusts her diamond studs in the mirror. The penthouse closet is bigger than my old apartment. Her clothes hang in perfect rows like soldiers. Mine take up one corner. Ready? I ask, straightening my tie. She turns. Her black dress costs more than I make in 3 months. Almost. You look handsome. Thanks. Should we head down together? I can call for the car. She pauses, lipstick halfway to her mouth. Actually, Marcus, it might be better if you use the service entrance tonight. My hands stop moving. The service entrance? Just to avoid the cameras out front. You know how the press can be during these events. Her voice stays light, casual, like she's asking me to pick up milk. I stare at her reflection. Ava, I'm your husband. I know, baby, it's just the merger vote is next week. We need to be careful about optics. Optics. That word again. I've heard it more in the last 6 months than in my whole life before her. Fine. I grab my wallet from the dresser. I'll meet you inside. She reaches for my hand. Don't be upset. It's just politics. I pull away gently. I'm not upset. But I am. I'm always upset these days. The hotel service entrance smells like bleach and old food. Staff members rush past me carrying trays and flower arrangements. A security guard checks my invitation twice, looking confused. You sure this is right? He asks. Yeah, I'm sure. I follow signs through a maze of hallways until I reach the main ballroom. The charity gala is already in full swing. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light over round tables covered in white cloth. Men in tuxedos shake hands. Women in designer gowns laugh behind champagne glasses. This is Ava's world. Old money, new money, all money. I spot her near the front, talking to three men in expensive suits. She sees me and waves, but doesn't come over. Instead, she points toward the bar like she's giving directions. I walk through the crowd, feeling eyes on me. A few people nod politely. Most look through me like I'm invisible. Marcus! A woman with silver hair approaches. I recognize her from photos. Mrs. Patterson, one of Ava's board members. How lovely to see you. Good evening, Mrs. Patterson. You must be so proud of Ava. This merger will change everything for Whitmore Industries. She works hard, I say. Indeed, and you keep everything running, don't you? There's something in her tone, a sweetness that doesn't reach her eyes. I do my part. She smiles and moves on. I drift toward the champagne bar, positioning myself close enough to hear conversations but far enough away to blend into the background. It's a skill I've learned at these events. Near the donor circle, laughter erupts from a group of 5 people. I recognize Ava's voice immediately. The challenge, she's saying, is managing expectations during transitions. Absolutely, agrees a man with a thick Boston accent. Perception matters more than reality sometimes. Exactly. Ava's laugh tinkles like the crystal around us. Some things just don't photograph well for boards and investors. Like what? Asks a woman in red. I move closer, pretending to study the silent auction items on display. Oh, you know. Ava's voice drops slightly. Black husbands are embarrassing in rooms like this. The words hit me like cold water. My thumb hovers over my phone in my jacket pocket. Laughter ripples through the group. Not shocked laughter, agreeable laughter. I completely understand, says the woman in red. Image is everything in mergers. We all make sacrifices for business, adds another voice. I press record on my phone and slip it back into my pocket. My face stays blank. My breathing stays steady. But inside, something breaks and hardens at the same time. Ava continues talking about quarterly projections and market positioning. I circle the room slowly, capturing context. A large screen near the stage shows the time, 9:12 p.m. Another screen displays the charity's fundraising total, climbing in real time. I memorize everything, the date, the time, the people who laughed, the people who stayed quiet. My wife of 2 years just called me embarrassing to a room full of her colleagues, and they agreed with her. I finish my champagne and set the glass on a tray. A server thanks me without making eye contact. Like me, he's part of the background here. The help. Ava finds me 20 minutes later as people begin moving toward the valet stand. There you are. Did you enjoy yourself? She links her arm through mine, all warmth and affection now that the evening is ending. It was interesting. The Hendersons want to have dinner next month, and Victor thinks the merger vote will be unanimous. I nod and say nothing. We walk to the valet line, and I stand a step behind her while she chats with other couples about vacation homes and art collections. My phone is still recording in my pocket. Every laugh, every casual mention of stock prices and board politics, every word that comes after someone calls their black husband embarrassing. In the car, city lights flicker across Ava's cheekbones as she checks her phone. Successful night, she says. The foundation raised over 2 million. Good. She looks at me. You're quiet. Just tired. Marcus. She reaches over and touches my hand. About what I said earlier, using the service entrance. I hope you know that wasn't about you personally. I keep my eyes on the road ahead. What was it about? Business, politics, things I can't control. Her voice is soft now, apologetic. You know I love you, right? I know what you told me. What does that mean? Nothing. I'm just tired. She squeezes my hand. We'll talk tomorrow, okay? After I get some sleep. I nod. Tomorrow she'll want to talk. Tonight, I have work to do. At home, I wait until Ava falls asleep before going to the guest room. I transfer the audio file to my laptop and create 2 backup copies. One goes to an encrypted cloud drive. The other goes on a thumb drive that I label with today's date and time. Gala 2104 4/21/12. I find a loose baseboard behind the guest room desk and hide the thumb drive behind it. Then I sit back and listen to the recording through headphones. Her voice comes through clearly. Black husbands are embarrassing in rooms like this. The laughter that follows, the easy agreement, the way she kept talking like she'd just commented on the weather. I save the file and close the laptop. Then I text Darius. Long shift tomorrow. What I really mean is, I need someone to listen, someone who'll understand why this matters. Darius texts back immediately. I'm here. I delete our exchange and put my phone on silent. Through the guest room window, Boston spreads out below us, lights in apartments where other couples are probably talking about their day, making plans for tomorrow, trusting each other. Ava stirs in the bedroom down the hall. In a few hours, she'll wake up and make coffee and kiss my forehead like nothing happened. She'll talk about dinner plans and weekend trips. She'll say she loves me, and part of me will want to believe her. But now I have her real voice, her real thoughts, her real opinion of what I mean to her in the world that matters most. I lean back in the chair and close my eyes. Tomorrow, she'll want to explain. She'll call it a slip, blame the pressure, promise we'll work it out. I'll listen, I'll nod, and I'll keep recording. Because dignity doesn't shout, it documents. And I'm going to document everything. Morning light streams through the penthouse windows when I walk into the kitchen. Ava is already dressed in silk and sneakers, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She moves around the marble island like a dancer, measuring coffee grounds with precise movements. The smell of French roast fills the air. 2 cups sit waiting on the counter. Mine is the blue one she bought me for our first anniversary. Hers is white bone china that belonged to her grandmother. "Good morning," she says without looking up. Her voice carries that careful brightness she uses when she's trying to fix something. "Morning." I pour orange juice and lean against the counter, watching her. She's beautiful in the morning light. It's one of the things that made me fall in love with her. How she looks like art even when she's just making coffee. The machine hisses and gurgles. She adds cream to my cup, exactly the way I like it. Then, she walks around the island and stands close to me. "About last night," she begins. "You said we'd talk later." "I know, but I couldn't sleep." She takes my left hand and runs her thumb over my wedding ring. The simple gold band looks plain next to her diamond set, but I picked it myself. Saved for 3 months to buy it. "What I said at the gala?" She pauses, still touching my ring. "It was wrong. I was under pressure, and I said something awful." I study her face, the slight crease between her eyebrows, the way she bites her lower lip when she's nervous. "Is that what you think it was? Something you said?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, was it wrong because you said it? Or wrong because you believe it?" She lets go of my hand. "I don't believe it. Marcus, you know that." "Do I?" "Of course you do." She steps closer. "You're my husband. I married you because I love you, not because of what other people think." "But what other people think matters for business." "Sometimes, yes, in stupid, unfair ways that I hate." Her voice gets stronger, but that doesn't mean I agree with it. I want to believe her. The part of me that fell in love with her 3 years ago wants to take this conversation and wrap it up neat, file it away under misunderstanding, and move on. But I keep hearing her voice from last night, the casual way she said those words, like she'd thought about them before. "Ava." "Yes? If you had to choose between the merger and me, what would you choose?" The question hangs between us like smoke. She doesn't answer right away, and that tells me everything. "That's not a choice I should have to make," she finally says. "But if you did, Marcus, don't do this. Don't make me pick between loving you and protecting what my family built. I'm not making you do anything. I'm asking what you'd choose." She turns away and grips the edge of the counter. "The merger matters to a lot of people. Hundreds of jobs, my mother's legacy, 5 generations of work. And me? You matter too. But not more." She spins around. "That's not fair." "Maybe not, but it's honest." We stand in silence for a long moment. The coffee maker beeps, signaling it's finished brewing. Ava pours 2 cups and slides mine across the marble. "I have an idea," she says. "Let's have dinner tonight. Just us. Rosina's, you love their bread. Ava, please, let me fix this properly." She touches my hand again, this time sliding her fingers under my palm. "We'll talk everything through. No pressure, no politics, just husband and wife." Her touch is warm, familiar. For a second, I remember our second date when she held my hand exactly like this while we walked through the common. She was nervous then too, but for different reasons. She was afraid I'd think she was too rich, too complicated. I was afraid she'd realize I wasn't enough. "Okay," I say, "dinner." She smiles, the real one, not the careful one. "Good, I'll make reservations for 7." She kisses my forehead, then my ring hand where it rests on the counter. Her lips are soft and she smells like the expensive perfume I gave her for Christmas. I love you, she says, looking directly into my eyes. I know I messed up last night, but I love you, Marcus. Never doubt that. I nod. I won't doubt it. But even as I say the words, my hand moves to the recording device I slipped into my jacket pocket before coming downstairs. It's a habit now. Document everything. Trust nothing that isn't recorded. She kisses me again, quicker this time, and grabs her purse from the counter. I have an early meeting with legal, but tonight, we fix everything, okay? Okay. I watch her leave through the elevator to the parking garage. When the doors close, I'm alone with the coffee and the morning light and the weight of what I know. I pull out my phone and check the cloud backup from last night. The file is still there, clear as day, her voice saying those words, the laughter that followed. Then, I scroll through my photos until I find one from our wedding day. Ava, in white lace, laughing at something I whispered in her ear. Both of us young and sure that love was enough to bridge any gap. I believed that once. Maybe I can believe it again if she proves it tonight. Or maybe I'm just giving her enough rope to hang herself with. I finish my coffee and head for the elevator. I have work to do, and Darius is probably already wondering where I am. He'll want to know about last night, about the recording, about what comes next. But first, I need to stop by the hardware store. I want a better recording device. Something smaller, clearer, something I can hide in my shirt collar or jacket lining. Because tonight at dinner, I'm going to find out if my wife meant what she said about fixing things. And if she doesn't, I want every word of that conversation too. In the elevator, I look at my reflection in the polished steel doors. Same face, same clothes, same wedding ring. But something's different now. There's a steadiness in my expression that wasn't there before. Dignity doesn't shout, I remind myself. It documents, and it waits for the truth. I check my watch as I walk into the Whitmore HQ cafe. 10:30 a.m., exactly when Evelyn requested. The space feels more like a museum than a place to eat. Marble floors, oil paintings of old white men, fresh flowers that probably cost more than my weekly paycheck. Evelyn glides in 5 minutes later, moving like she owns everything she sees, which, technically, she does. Pearls around her neck catch the light from tall windows. Her smile is precise, practiced. Marcus, darling, thank you for meeting me. Of course, Mrs. Whitmore. Please call me Evelyn. We're family now. She settles into the chair across from me, arranging her purse just so. I ordered us the continental spread. I hope that's acceptable. A server appears with coffee, pastries, and fruit arranged like art. Evelyn thanks him with the kind of politeness that keeps distance, warm but untouchable. How are you settling into married life? She asks, unfolding her napkin. Good. Ava and I are happy. Wonderful. Marriage is about adaptation, isn't it? Learning to blend two different worlds. She sips her coffee. Speaking of which, I wanted to discuss the upcoming merger celebration. I reach for a croissant, buying time. What about it? Well, there will be photographs, press coverage. The board will be very visible. Her voice stays light, conversational. We'll need to think carefully about presentation. Presentation of what? Our image as a family company, conservative values, traditional excellence. She pauses. The investors we're courting are quite particular about such things. I set down my coffee cup. Mrs. Whitmore, Evelyn, what exactly are you asking me? Nothing dramatic, dear. Just discretion. Perhaps a lower profile during the final negotiations. The word discretion sits between us like a landmine. I understand what she means. Be less visible, be less black, be less married to her daughter. I see. You're very resourceful, Marcus. I'm sure you understand the complexities involved. She butters a piece of toast with surgical precision. The business world can be so traditional in its expectations, resourceful. She says it the way someone might describe a particularly clever porter or handyman. Useful, but not family. I slip my hand into my shirt pocket and activate the micro recorder I bought this morning. It's no bigger than a pen cap, designed to capture conversations clearly. The red light blinks once behind the fabric, then disappears. What kind of expectations? I ask. Oh, familiar backgrounds, shared experiences, the kind of natural fit that makes everyone comfortable. She takes a small bite of toast. Ava tells me you're very understanding about these things. Does she? Indeed. She said you were quite reasonable about using the service entrance last night. The words land like a slap. Ava discussed this with her mother. Planned it, maybe. The service entrance wasn't about avoiding cameras. It was about avoiding explanations. I want what's best for Ava, I say carefully. Of course you do. That's what makes you special, Marcus. You put her needs first. Evelyn reaches into her purse and pulls out a small leather folder. I have something that might interest you. She slides it across the table. Inside are photographs, Ava at various corporate events over the past 5 years, board meetings, charity galas, merger announcements. In every single photo, she's alone or standing with white colleagues. These are from our family archive, Evelyn explains. Notice how natural she looks, how at ease. I study the pictures. Ava does look comfortable, confident, like she belongs completely in those spaces. She photographs beautifully, I say, doesn't she? The camera loves her when she's in her element. Evelyn closes the folder gently. Of course, the wrong elements can be challenging for photography. I know what she means. I've seen the few pictures of us together at public events. I always look uncomfortable, overdressed, like I'm trying too hard. Ava looks tense beside me, her smile a little too bright. I understand your concern, I tell her. Do you? Good. I was hoping you'd be practical about this. She signals for more coffee. The server appears instantly, fills both cups, vanishes again. Ava loves you, Marcus. I can see that clearly, but love and business don't always align, do they? She stirs cream into her coffee. The question is whether we can find a way to honor both. What kind of way? Well, that depends on what matters most to you. Ava's happiness, her success, the family's stability, all of the above, I want to say. But I'm starting to understand that's not an option being offered. I want her to be happy, I say. Excellent. Then we understand each other. Evelyn checks her watch. I should let you get back to your day. Thank you for this lovely conversation. She stands, gathering her purse and the folder of photographs. Evelyn, yes, dear? Those pictures, may I keep one? Her eyebrows raise slightly. Of course. Which one speaks to you? I flip through until I find one from a merger announcement 2 years ago. Ava at a podium, surrounded by board members, all of them applauding. She looks radiant, powerful, like she was born for that moment. This one. Ah, yes, the Pemberton acquisition, one of our most successful ventures. She slides the photo across to me. She was magnificent that day. I slip the picture into my wallet, next to my business cards and the receipts I'll never expense. Indeed, she was. Evelyn leans down and kisses my cheek. The kind of kiss you give family members you're fond of but not particularly close to. You're a good man, Marcus. I hope you'll remember that goodness when the time comes to make difficult choices. She walks away, heels clicking on marble. I sit alone with the continental spread and the weight of what just happened. In the men's room, I check the recorder. Crystal clear audio of the entire conversation. Every polite suggestion that I make myself smaller. Every gentle implication that my presence hurts Ava's image. I study my reflection in the mirror. Same face that Ava kisses every morning. Same hands that fix things and build things and work to make her life better. But in Evelyn's world, I'm not Marcus Reed, husband and partner. I'm a problem to be managed, a complexity to be handled with discretion and resourcefulness. I think about the photo in my wallet, Ava at that podium, glowing with success and belonging. Then, I think about how I felt last night, following signs through service corridors while her real life happened in marble ballrooms. The recorder blinks red in my palm. Document everything, I remind myself. Trust what you hear, not what you hope. Tonight at dinner, I'll find out which version of Ava shows up. The woman who loves me enough to fight for us, or the woman who loves her world more. Either way, I'll be ready. The maintenance shop smells like coffee and machine oil when I walk in at noon. Darius is at his usual spot by the tool lockers, eating lunch from a foil container. He offers me half without looking up. Rough morning? He asks. Had brunch with Evelyn Whitmore. His fork stops halfway to his mouth. The mother-in-law? What did she want? I grab a folding chair and sit down. The shop is empty except for us. Everyone else is out on calls. Good. This conversation needs privacy. She wants me to understand my place, which is nowhere visible. Darius sets down his lunch and really looks at me. We've been friends since I started this job 2 years ago. He can read my face like a maintenance manual. Talk to me, man. I pull out the small recorder and show him. I've been documenting things, conversations, the things they say when they think I can't hear. What kind of things? Last night at the gala, Ava told a group of donors that black husbands are embarrassing in rooms like theirs. Darius goes very still. She said that? Word for word, I recorded it. Jesus, Marcus. He rubs his face. What are you gonna do? I don't know yet, but I'm going to keep recording until I figure it out. I explain about the cloud backup, the encrypted files, the thumb drive hidden in my apartment. Darius listens without interrupting, his expression getting more serious with each detail. You playing with fire, he says finally. I know. No, I don't think you do. He leans forward. You documenting your wife calling you embarrassing? That's grounds for divorce, brother. But it's also grounds for her to throw you out with nothing. So I should just pretend it didn't happen? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you better think real hard about what winning looks like. He picks up his fork, then puts it down again. You could take this to a lawyer, file for divorce, probably get a settlement based on the recordings. I don't want her money. Then what do you want? The question sits between us like a challenge. What do I want? I want the truth, I say finally. I want her to stop pretending this marriage is something it's not. And if she won't, then I want to walk away with my dignity intact. Darius nods slowly. That's a hard road, man. Dignity don't pay rent. Neither does staying married to someone who's ashamed of you. Fair point. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small plastic bag. Give me one of those thumb drives. Why? Insurance. Case something happens to your copies, or you disappear, or... He shrugs. Rich people got long arms, Marcus. They can reach places you can't imagine. I think about that. About Evelyn's polite threats over continental breakfast. About the photographs that somehow captured 5 years of Ava's life without a single black face. You do that? We're friends. Friends watch each other's backs. He holds out his hand. Besides, if you ghost on me, I want to know why. I log into the cloud account on my phone and write down the password on a napkin. Then, I take one of the spare thumb drives from my toolkit and copy the files. This stays between us, I say, handing everything over. Goes without saying. He pockets the drive and the login information. But, Marcus, you sure about this path? Once you start down it, There's no going back to pretending everything's fine. I think about Ava this morning, making coffee and touching my wedding ring. The way she looked at me when she said she loved me. Part of me believed her. Part of me wanted to believe her. But then I remember Evelyn's folder of photographs, the easy way she talked about managing my visibility, the assumption that I'd be practical about making myself smaller. I'm sure. All right then. Darius picks up his lunch. But do me a favor, don't do anything stupid tonight at dinner. Go in clean, see what she says, document whatever needs documenting. But don't blow it up yet. What if she lies to me? Then you'll have that on tape too. I stand and fold up the chair. Thanks, man. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when this is over and you're still in one piece. I head for the door, then turn back. Darius, if this goes bad, it won't. You're too smart for that. But if it does, if I disappear or get fired or whatever, make sure people know what really happened. Marcus, promise me. He meets my eyes. I promise. I spend the afternoon on routine maintenance calls, but my mind keeps drifting to tonight. By 5 o'clock, I've mentally rehearsed the conversation a dozen different ways. Back at the apartment, I test the new recording setup. The micro device clips easily inside my shirt collar, invisible unless someone's looking for it. I practice activating it without obvious hand movements. Then I take a long shower and put on my best casual clothes, dark jeans and the blue button-down Ava bought me for Christmas. I want to look like myself, not like I'm trying to impress anyone. At 6:45, I take one last look around the guest room where I've been sleeping since last night. The thumb drive is still secure behind the baseboard. The cloud backup is still accessible. Everything's documented, organized, ready. Whatever happens tonight, I'll be prepared for it. My phone buzzes with a text from Ava. Running 10 minutes late. Order wine if you get there first. I type back. Sure. Then I slip the phone into my pocket, check that the recorder is working, and head out into the Boston evening. Time to find out who my wife really is. Rosina's feels like a warm hug when I walk through the front doors. Soft lighting, checkered tablecloths, the smell of garlic and fresh bread. It's the kind of place where normal couples come for anniversaries and first dates. The hostess seats me at our usual table by the window. Outside, Beacon Hill glows in the early evening light. I order a bottle of Chianti. Nothing expensive, just something we both like. Ava arrives 15 minutes late, slightly breathless. She's changed from her work clothes into a simple black dress and the pearl earrings I gave her for our first anniversary. She looks beautiful in the candlelight. Sorry. She kisses my cheek before sitting down. Legal ran long. Something about disclosure requirements for the merger. No problem. The waiter appears immediately, filling her wine glass and explaining tonight's specials. Ava orders the seafood risotto. I get my usual chicken parmigiana with extra bread. When we're alone again, she reaches across the table and takes my hand. Thank you for coming tonight, for giving us this chance to talk. Of course, I've been thinking all day about what I said last night, about what I did. She traces circles on the back of my hand with her thumb. There's no excuse for it, Marcus. None. I activate the recorder with my free hand, pretending to adjust my collar. Okay. I was nervous about the merger, about making the right impression, and I said something horrible, something that doesn't reflect how I really feel about you. How do you really feel about me? I love you. I'm proud to be your wife. You're one of the best men I know. She sounds genuine, looks genuine, but I remember her voice last night, how casually those other words came out. If that's true, why did you ask me to use the service entrance? She winces. Because I was being cowardly. I was worried about questions I might have to answer, conversations I wasn't ready for. What kind of questions? About us, about our relationship, about how we met. She takes a sip of wine. The board is very traditional, Marcus. Some of them still think wives should be seen and not heard, much less black husbands of CEOs. So you hid me. I tried to avoid complications. Same thing. She's quiet for a moment. The waiter brings bread and olive oil. I tear off a piece and eat it slowly, waiting. You're right, she says finally. I hid you. I was wrong to do that. But you'd do it again. What? If the same situation came up tomorrow, big merger, traditional board, important donors, you'd ask me to use the service entrance again. No, I wouldn't. Are you sure? She pulls her hand back and reaches for her wine glass. I'm trying to apologize here, Marcus. I'm trying to make this right. I know, but apologies are about the past. I'm asking about the future. The future is us, together. After the merger vote next week, things will be different. Different how? Calmer. Less pressure. I'll introduce you properly to everyone who matters. She leans forward. I promise you, after the board votes to approve this deal, I will never ask you to hide again. What if the board doesn't approve it? They will. But what if they don't? What if keeping me visible costs you the merger? What then? The question hangs between us like a test. I can see her mind working, calculating probabilities and consequences. That won't happen, she says. It's not an answer. It's the only answer I have right now. The waiter brings our entrees. The risotto looks perfect, creamy, studded with shrimp and scallops. My chicken is golden brown, melted cheese bubbling over the edges. We eat in silence for a few minutes. The restaurant fills up around us. Other couples talking and laughing, families celebrating birthdays, first dates full of nervous energy. Marcus, Ava says finally, I need you to help me help us. What does that mean? The next week is crucial. The board meets Thursday to vote on the merger. If this goes through, Whitmore Industries becomes part of something huge, generational wealth, security for hundreds of families, including ours. Yes, including ours. She sets down her fork. But if anything goes wrong, any complications, any distractions, any reason for the board to question my judgment, it all falls apart. I take another bite of chicken, chewing slowly. And I'm a potential complication. Not you personally, but the optics of us, yes. For one more week. So, what are you asking? Stay low during the final negotiations. No public events, no photos, no surprises. Just be patient while I get us over the finish line. And after that, I'll call you my husband in every room we enter. I'll introduce you to every person who matters. I'll make sure the whole world knows how proud I am to be married to you. It's a good speech. Heartfelt, convincing, and maybe even true. But I think about Evelyn's photographs this morning. 5 years of Ava's professional life without a single black face, a pattern of invisibility that predates me by years. I want one thing, I tell her, anything. Tonight, when we leave here, I want you to call me your husband, to the waiter, to the valet, to anyone we talk to. Just practice for after the merger. She hesitates, just for a second, but I catch it. Of course, she says. That's... Yes, you're right. But I can see her mind working again, calculating who might be, here, who might overhear, what it might cost her. Good. I raise my wine glass. To practicing. She clinks her glass against mine. To practicing. We finish dinner talking about safer things. Weekend plans, her mother's birthday next month, the contractor fixing our bathroom. Normal married couple conversation. When the check comes, I excuse myself to use the restroom. In the hallway by the kitchen, I spot the maître d', a thin man with silver hair who's worked here for years. Excuse me, I say. My wife and I are about to leave. Could you have the valet bring our car around? Of course, sir. Name for the valet? Whitmore, the black BMW. He nods and reaches for the phone. I linger, pretending to check my own phone while I listen. Valet, black BMW for Whitmore. No, the woman dining by the window. Yes, with the gentleman. Right, she's high maintenance, but tips well. High maintenance. Even here, even at our favorite restaurant, I'm not the husband. I'm the gentleman with the high maintenance woman who tips well. I walk back to the table where Ava is touching up her lipstick. Car should be ready in a few minutes, I tell her. Perfect. Thank you for handling that. We walk to the front together. The maître d' approaches with our valet ticket. Mrs. Whitmore, your car is just pulling up. I hope you enjoyed your evening. We did, thank you. He hands her the ticket without looking at me. She tips him, and we walk outside. Our BMW idles at the curb. The valet holds the passenger door open for Ava, then walks around to hand me the keys. Thank you, I say. My pleasure, sir. No mention of marriage, no acknowledgement of connection. Just sir and ma'am, the way service people talk to strangers. In the car, Ava buckles her seatbelt and checks her phone. Good dinner, she says. I'm glad we talked. Me too. Tomorrow I have meetings all day, but Thursday night after the vote, let's celebrate. Maybe take a long weekend somewhere. Sounds nice. I drive toward Beacon Hill while she scrolls through emails. The recorder in my collar captured everything. Her conditional promises, her careful timeline, her hesitation when I asked for one small practice run of calling me her husband. Most importantly, it captured how easily she let the maître d' and valet treat me like a stranger. How natural that invisibility felt to her. At a red light, I glance over at her profile. She's beautiful in the dashboard glow, absorbed in her phone, planning her future, managing her empire, calculating her next moves. Tomorrow, she'll have meetings about the merger. Thursday, the board will vote, and if it goes through, she promises everything will change. But promises from someone who hides you aren't worth the breath they take to make. The light turns green. I drive us home through the Boston night, past the landmarks of her family's legacy, toward the penthouse where I've been sleeping in the guest room. One more week, she said. Just one more week of being patient while she gets us over the finish line. I can be patient. I've been practicing patience for 2 years now, but patience and silence aren't the same thing. And while she's managing her merger, I'll be managing my evidence, because after tonight, I know exactly what kind of future she's offering me. The same invisibility I have now, just with better promises attached. And I deserve better than that. The penthouse is quiet when we get home. Ava kicks off her heels in the foyer and heads straight for the kitchen to pour herself a glass of water. I follow, loosening my tie. I should get some sleep, she says. Early morning tomorrow. Yeah, me too. She finishes the water and sets the glass in the sink. For a moment, we stand in the kitchen looking at each other. The conversation at dinner sits between us like furniture we have to navigate around. Marcus? Yeah? Thank you for listening tonight, for being patient with me while I figure this out. Sure. She steps closer and kisses me. Soft, brief, tasting like wine and the mint she had with the check. When she pulls back, her hand rests on my chest. I love you, she says. Whatever else happens, remember that I love you. I nod. I will. She heads toward the bedroom, pausing in the doorway. Are you coming to bed? The question is careful. We haven't shared the bed since the gala. Since I started sleeping in the guest room with my recordings and my growing collection of evidence. In a minute, I want to check some emails first. Okay. Don't stay up too late. I won't. She disappears down the hall. I hear the bedroom door close, then water running in the bathroom. Our normal nighttime routine, except nothing about it feels normal anymore. I wait 15 minutes until I'm sure she's asleep, then go to the guest room and close the door. The laptop opens silently. I plug in headphones and transfer tonight's recording to the encrypted folder. 3 files now. Gala 2104 21-12. Her embarrassing comment. Brunch 2204 10:30. Evelyn's discretion conversation. Dinner 2204 19:15. Conditional promises at Rosina's. I play back tonight's conversation, focusing on her voice when she made those promises, when she said things would be different after the merger vote, when she hesitated before agreeing to call me her husband to the restaurant staff. Then, I listened to how easily she let the Maître d' dismiss me, how comfortable she seemed with my invisibility. I create a simple index file with timestamps and key quotes. 21.23. I need you to help me help us. 21.31. Stay low during the final negotiations. 21.44. I'll call you my husband in every room we enter. Conditional on merger approval. 22.15. No correction when Maitre d' calls her high maintenance and ignores my presence evidence. Clean, organized, dated evidence of who my wife really is when she thinks no one important is watching. I lean back in the desk chair and stare at the ceiling. 3 years ago, I met Ava at a coffee shop near the Common. She was frustrated because her laptop wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi, cursing quietly at the screen. I offered to help. Turned out to be a simple password issue. She bought me coffee to say thank you. We talked for 2 hours about books and movies and growing up in Boston. She was funny, smart, interested in everything I had to say. When she laughed at my jokes, it felt like winning the lottery. I didn't know she was rich until our third date when she mentioned her family's company in passing. By then, I was already falling for her. I don't usually date guys like you, she said. What kind of guys do you usually date? Boring ones? Rich ones? Safe ones? She grinned. You're definitely not safe. I thought she meant it as a compliment. Looking back, maybe it was a warning. The first year was good, really good. She brought me to family dinners and company parties, introduced me to her friends, her colleagues, her mother. I felt included, accepted, like I belonged in her world. When did that change? When did I become the husband she hides instead of the man she's proud of? Maybe it changed gradually, so slowly I didn't notice until it was too late. Or maybe it changed when the merger talks started and the stakes got higher. When having a black husband shifted from being interesting to being inconvenient. Or maybe it never changed at all. Maybe she always saw me as a complication to be managed, and I just didn't want to see it. I closed the laptop and checked the time. 11:47 p.m. In a few hours, Ava will wake up and make coffee and kiss my forehead like nothing's wrong. She'll ask about my day, share gossip from her meetings, make plans for the weekend, and I'll play along because I'm not ready to blow this up yet, but I'm not going to keep pretending everything's fine either. I have a choice to make. I can take these recordings to a lawyer, file for divorce, probably get a decent settlement, walk away clean with enough money to start over somewhere else, or I can keep documenting, keep gathering evidence, wait until I have enough to expose not just what she said, but who she really is. Show her world exactly what kind of person they've been protecting. The first option is safer, smarter probably. Get out with my dignity and some financial security. The second option is riskier, could backfire completely, could leave me with nothing but a collection of recordings and a reputation for being a vindictive ex-husband. But it would be the truth, and the truth matters. I think about Darius's warning this afternoon. Dignity don't pay rent. He's right, but neither does staying married to someone who's ashamed of you. I pull out my phone and open a new note. Statement of Intent. M. Reed, 22 April 2024. I am documenting evidence of my wife's true feelings about our marriage and my place in her world. Not for money or revenge, but for truth. When I have enough evidence to show the pattern clearly, I will expose it to the people who enabled it, her board, her donors, her circle. Then, I will leave quietly with my dignity intact. I will not shout. I will not make public scenes. I will simply show them who she really is when she thinks no one important is watching. Then, I will walk away on my terms. I read it twice, then save it to the encrypted folder and print a copy for my wallet. Tomorrow, Ava will have her meetings. Thursday, the board will vote on the merger. And sometime after that, she'll test my patience one more time. When she does, I'll be ready. Because dignity doesn't shout, it documents. And when it's gathered enough truth, it speaks once, clearly, and walks away. I fold the printed statement and slip it into my wallet next to the photograph of Ava at that podium, glowing with success and belonging. Then, I turn off the lamp and try to get some sleep. The morning comes too soon. I wake to the sound of Ava's alarm at 6 a.m., then her shower running, then the coffee maker starting its familiar cycle. Normal sounds of our normal life that isn't normal anymore. I stay in the guest room until she leaves for work, then shower and dress for another day of maintenance calls. The recording device goes into my shirt pocket like a piece of jewelry I never take off. At work, Darius takes one look at my face and knows. Dinner didn't go well? Dinner went exactly like I thought it would. That bad, huh? She offered me a deal. Be invisible for one more week, then she'll call me her husband in public. And you believe her? I think about the hesitation in her voice, the way she let the restaurant staff treat me like a stranger, the careful timeline that makes everything conditional on her success. I believe she believes it, in the moment, but I also believe she'll find new reasons to keep me hidden when the next big thing comes up. So, what's the plan? Keep documenting, wait for her to show me who she really is, then show everyone else. Darius nods slowly. You sure about this path, brother? I'm sure. All right then, let's get to work. We spend the day fixing broken heating systems and replacing worn-out fixtures. Normal problems with clear solutions. The kind of work where you can see progress, where effort equals results. Not like marriage, not like trying to fix something that might have been broken from the start. Saturday morning light streams through the kitchen windows when I wake up on the couch. I'd fallen asleep there around midnight, laptop open, headphones still around my neck. My back aches from the awkward position. Ava is already up, standing at the marble island in silk pajamas and bare feet. Her hair is messy from sleep and she's humming something soft while she measures coffee grounds. Morning, sleepyhead, she says without looking up. You were out cold when I checked on you. Sorry, didn't mean to sleep there. It's okay, I figured you needed space to think. The coffee maker gurgles to life. She moves around the kitchen like a dancer, pulling orange juice from the fridge, setting out 2 plates. Everything normal and domestic and familiar. I sit on one of the bar stools and watch her. In the morning light, without makeup or business clothes, she looks younger, like the woman I fell in love with 3 years ago. I was thinking, she says, sliding a cup of coffee across to me. We should fix that cabinet hinge today, the one that's been sticking. I blink at her. The cabinet? In the pantry. You've been saying it needs attention for weeks. She grins. Unless you have other plans. No other plans. It's such a normal request, such a regular married couple thing to do on a Saturday morning. For a moment, I forget about recordings and evidence and hidden truths. Great. I'll get the tools. We work together in the pantry, me holding the cabinet door steady while she unscrews the old hinge. It's cramped in the small space, our shoulders touching as we maneuver around each other. Hand me the Phillips head, she says. I pass her the screwdriver, our fingers brush. She smiles. Remember when we first moved in here? You wanted to fix everything in the first week. This place needed work. It needed love. There's a difference. She works the stubborn screw loose. You gave it love. The old hinge comes free with a metallic click. We examine it together. Worn threads, bent metal, years of use that finally caught up. No wonder it was sticking, Ava says. I fit the new hinge in place while she holds the door. The hardware is solid, well made. It should last another 10 years easy. Try it now. She swings the door open and closed. Smooth, silent, perfect. You're magic with broken things, she says. Just takes patience. And knowing what you're working with. She touches my forearm, fingers warm against my skin. Thank you. Something in her voice makes me look up. She's standing close, close enough that I can smell her shampoo and see the gold flecks in her brown eyes. For what? For being patient with me, with us. I know this week has been. She pauses, searching for words. Complicated. I should step back, should remember the recordings in my phone, the evidence building in encrypted files, should keep my distance until this plays out. But her hand is still on my arm and she's looking at me like she used to, like I matter. Ava, I know what you're going to say, that I've been handling things poorly, that I've made mistakes. Her thumb traces a small circle on my skin. You're right. I wasn't going to say that. No? What were you going to say? The truth? That I don't know what to believe anymore. That I want to trust her but don't know how. That I love her and resent her in equal measure. I was going to say we should test all the hinges while we have the tools out. She laughs. The real laugh, not the careful one she uses at work functions. Ever practical. Someone has to be. We spend the next hour going through the apartment, testing cabinet doors and drawers, tightening loose screws, replacing worn hardware. It's satisfying work. Progress you can see and touch. What about a walk? Ava suggests when we finish. The weather's perfect. Outside, Boston sparkles in the spring sunshine. We walk along the Charles River, past joggers and families and couples pushing strollers. Ava slips her hand into mine as we walk. I used to come here when I was stressed in college, she says. Just walk and think until my head cleared. What were you stressed about? Everything. Living up to expectations, being worthy of the family name, whether I was smart enough, strong enough, good enough. She squeezes my hand. Some things never change. You're plenty good enough. Am I? Sometimes I feel like I'm playing a role I don't understand. CEO daughter, board member, wife. She glances at me. I'm not sure I'm good at any of it. You're good at being my wife. The words slip out before I can stop them. True and not true at the same time. She stops walking. Am I? We're standing by the water, sailboats drifting past in the distance. An older couple feeds ducks while their grandchildren run around nearby. Marcus, do you think we're going to be okay? The question catches me off guard. Not the business version of okay, the merger, the board, the optics, the real version, us. I don't know, I say, honestly. I want us to be. I want to figure this out. Her voice gets smaller. I don't want to lose you. I study her face. She looks scared in a way I haven't seen since our early days together. Vulnerable, young. Then don't. Don't what? Don't lose me. She nods like she's making a promise. I won't. We walk home as the sun starts to set, talking about small things. Work stories, weekend plans, the movie we've been meaning to watch. Normal married couple conversation. At home, we order Thai food and eat it on the couch while scrolling through streaming options. Ava curls up against my side, her head on my shoulder. The weight of her feels familiar, comfortable. This, she says softly, this is what I want to keep. What? This feeling, like we're a team. I run my fingers through her hair, soft, smelling like expensive shampoo and the outdoors. We are a team. Even when I mess up, even when you mess up, she tilts her head to look at me. I love you, Marcus. I know I haven't been showing it well lately, but I do. I love you. I love you too. And in this moment, on this couch, with takeout containers on the coffee table and her warm weight against my side, I mean it completely. The recording device sits silent in my shirt pocket. For once, I don't want to document anything. I just want to exist in this bubble of normal, ordinary love. We pick a movie, something light and familiar that we've both seen before. Halfway through, Ava falls asleep against my shoulder. Her breathing is slow and steady, peaceful. I could wake her up, suggest we go to bed properly. Instead, I just hold her and watch the credits roll. Tomorrow will bring Monday meetings and merger pressure and all the reasons she thinks she needs to hide me. But tonight, she's just my wife sleeping in my arms. Tonight, I remember why I married her. And maybe if she keeps her promises from dinner the other night, that will be enough to build on. Maybe. Sunday morning, I wake up alone on the couch with a blanket draped over me. Ava must have covered me before going to bed. The apartment is quiet. She's probably still sleeping. I make coffee and check my phone. Nothing urgent. The kind of peaceful Sunday morning I used to love before everything got complicated. Around 10, Ava emerges from the bedroom, hair messy, wearing my old MIT t-shirt that she stole months ago. "Morning," she says, kissing my cheek. "Sleep okay?" "Better than I expected." "Good. I have a video call with Victor in an hour, then we can do whatever you want. Maybe that museum you mentioned?" "Sounds perfect." She pours coffee and settles at the dining table with her laptop. I clean up the kitchen, giving her space to prepare for her call. At 11 a.m. sharp, her laptop chimes. Victor Hale's face fills the screen. Silver hair, perfectly styled, expensive shirt, background that screams corner office. Even on Sundays, he looks like he's ready to close a deal. "Ava, darling, you look refreshed." "Thank you. I'm feeling optimistic about Thursday's vote." I'm in the kitchen, supposedly washing dishes, but sound carries clearly in the open plan space. The recording device activates automatically when I press my collar. "Excellent. The Henderson Group is very pleased with our progress," Victor says. "Their final due diligence review is tomorrow." "Any concerns?" "Nothing substantial. A few questions about operational continuity, some standard cultural fit assessments." He pauses. "Although there is one small matter we should discuss." Ava's posture straightens. "What kind of matter?" "Presentation optics for the integration period. The Henderson Group is quite traditional. Family values, conservative image, that sort of thing." "I understand." "Good. Now they've done their research, of course. They know about your marriage." Victor's voice stays casual, conversational. "Not an issue per se, but they did mention that discrete separation optics might be cleaner during the transition." I stop moving. The coffee mug in my hands feels suddenly heavy. Ava goes very quiet. On screen, Victor continues reviewing papers like he's just discussed the weather. "Victor, what exactly are you suggesting?" "Nothing dramatic, my dear. Just perhaps your husband could maintain a lower profile during the first 90 days post-merger. Give the new partnership time to stabilize before introducing any variables that might complicate the narrative." "Variables?" He's calling me a variable. "Marcus isn't a variable. He's my husband." "Of course, and I'm sure he's lovely, but you understand the dynamics at play here." Victor looks directly into the camera. "The Henderson Group has invested heavily in companies with strong, traditional leadership, wives who complement the corporate image, families that photograph well for annual reports." "And you don't think Marcus photographs well?" "I think Marcus might raise questions we'd prefer not to answer during integration. Easier to avoid the conversation entirely, don't you think?" Ava stares at her screen. I can see her profile from the kitchen, jaw tight, thinking hard. "For 90 days. Perhaps longer, depending on how smoothly things progress. These partnerships take time to solidify." Victor's voice gets warmer, more persuasive. "Think of it as a strategic investment in your future, a small sacrifice for enormous long-term gain." What if Marcus doesn't agree to lower visibility? Well, that would be unfortunate. The Henderson Group specifically mentioned hoping for leadership that prioritizes corporate harmony over personal preferences. The threat is polite but unmistakable. Corporate harmony over personal preferences. Choose the merger or choose your husband, but not both. I see. I knew you'd understand. You're a practical woman, Ava. It's one of your greatest strengths. Victor shuffles papers off screen. Shall we discuss quarterly projections? They spend the next 20 minutes talking numbers and timelines while I stand frozen in the kitchen. When the call ends, Ava closes her laptop and sits in silence. I finish washing the dishes, taking my time, giving her space to process what just happened. Marcus? Her voice is careful. Yeah? Did you hear that? I could lie. Pretend I was too busy to listen. Let her decide how much to tell me. Instead, I walk over and sit across from her at the table. I heard. Her shoulders slump. I'm sorry. For what? For them talking about you like you're a problem to solve. Are you going to solve me? She looks up sharply. That's not fair. Isn't it? Victor just told you to choose between the merger and your marriage. What did you decide? I didn't decide anything. It was a conversation, not a negotiation. Sounded like a negotiation to me. She stands and walks to the window overlooking the common. Sunday afternoon families are out enjoying the sunshine. Normal people living normal lives. This merger represents 5 years of work, Marcus. Hundreds of jobs. My family's entire legacy. And me? You're my husband. I love you. But, but nothing. There's no but. I join her at the window. There's always a but with you, Ava. I love you, but the optics are complicated. You're my husband, but the board is traditional. I'm proud of our marriage, but maybe you should use the service entrance. That's not fair. No, it's not. None of this is fair. I turn to face her. The question is what you're going to do about it. I don't know. At least she's honest. I can work with honest. When will you know? After Thursday. After the vote. Once I know where we stand with the merger. And if they vote yes? If the merger goes through? What happens to us then? She doesn't answer right away. Through the window, a father pushes his daughter on a swing while his wife takes pictures. Simple joy. Uncomplicated love. I hope we figure it out, she says finally. Hope, not determination, not commitment. Hope. Okay. 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 We'll see what happens after Thursday. She looks relieved, like she expected more of a fight. Thank you for being patient. Sure, but I'm not feeling patient anymore. I'm feeling like a man whose wife just listened to someone call him a variable that complicates narratives and didn't defend him. I'm feeling like a man who needs more evidence. I should check on some work stuff, I tell her. Rain check on the museum? Of course. I have prep work for tomorrow anyway. I go to the guest room and close the door. The recording is crystal clear. Victor's casual dismissal, Ava's weak protests, her admission that she hopes we'll figure it out. Hope isn't a plan. It's what you have when you don't want to make hard choices. I add the file to my growing collection and update my index. Victor, call, 230411 calls. Discrete separation optics might be cleaner. 1115. Variables that might complicate the narrative. 1122. Corporate harmony over personal preferences. 1147. Ava. I hope we figure it out, not I will fight for us. 4 files now. A pattern emerging. Each conversation shows me where I really stand in her priorities. Thursday, the board votes. After that, I'll know if this marriage is worth saving or if I need to start planning my exit. Either way, I'll be ready, because hope isn't enough anymore. I need truth, and truth requires evidence. Monday morning, 8:05 a.m. The elevator in Whitmore HQ carries the usual mix of early arrivals, executives checking phones, assistants balancing coffee and files, security guards starting their shifts. I'm heading to the 42nd floor to fix a broken thermostat in the conference room. The doors open on 38, and Lena Park steps in. Ava's executive assistant for the past 2 years, always perfectly dressed, always 3 steps ahead of whatever Ava needs. She nods at me politely, the way she always does. Morning, Marcus. Morning, Lena. The elevator continues up. Just the two of us now, standing in comfortable silence. We've exchanged pleasantries dozens of times over the years, but never had a real conversation. At 41, she reaches into her bag and pulls out a folded piece of paper. Without looking at me, she extends it in my direction. "This fell out of your toolbox," she says quietly. I know immediately that it didn't, but I take the paper anyway. "Thanks. Be careful," she whispers. Then the doors open on 42 and she's gone. I wait until I'm alone in the conference room before unfolding the paper. It's a printed calendar page. Today's date, with several entries in neat handwriting. 2 WoW p.m. Evelyn Whitmore, private donor supper. Menu review, 3:30 p.m. Talking points. Reframing personal relationships. 5 p.m. Guest list final. Conservative donors. Only 7 p.m. Practice session. Navigating difficult questions. At the bottom, in different ink, someone has added topics: private companionship versus public marriage, maintaining traditional image during transition, managing expectations about family visibility. My hands shake slightly as I read it again. This isn't just about the merger. This is about permanently redefining what our marriage means to Ava's world. Private companionship. Not marriage, not partnership, companionship. I photograph the paper with my phone, making sure to capture the handwriting clearly. Then I check the time. 8:12 a.m. I need to get to a stairwell where I can think. 2 flights down, I find an empty stairwell and lean against the concrete wall. The recording device in my collar isn't running. I forgot to activate it during the elevator exchange. But this paper is evidence enough. Someone, probably Evelyn, is coaching Ava on how to explain away our marriage, how to make me sound like a temporary arrangement instead of a permanent commitment. My phone buzzes. Text from Ava. "Big day today. Wish me luck with prep meetings." I stare at the message. She's asking for luck while preparing to explain to donors why I'm not really her husband. Just private companionship that doesn't interfere with her public image. I text back, "Good luck. I believe in you." Because I do believe in her. I believe she'll do exactly what this schedule suggests. Practice explaining me away until it sounds natural and reasonable. The thermostat repair takes 2 hours. Simple job, but I take my time, thinking through what this calendar means. By 11 a.m., I'm back in the maintenance shop with Darius. "You look like someone stole your lunch money," he says. I show him the photo on my phone. He reads it twice, then sets the phone down carefully. "Damn, brother. Yeah. She's really going to sit in a room and practice explaining why you don't matter?" "Looks like it." Darius shakes his head. "And you got this how?" "Lena, Ava's assistant, slipped it to me in the elevator." "Why would she do that?" "Good question. Lena's worked for Ava for years, been loyal and discreet. Why risk her job to warn me? Maybe she has a conscience. Or maybe this is bigger than just you. Maybe she's tired of covering for this kind of thing." I think about that. How many other conversations has Lena typed up? How many other talking points about managing inconvenient relationships? Either way, now I know what tonight's really about. What are you going to do? Document it. If I can get close enough to record some of this practice session, I'll have everything I need. "Marcus." Darius's voice gets serious. "You sure you want to go down this road? Once you record her practicing how to erase you, there's no coming back from that." "There's already no coming back. This just makes it official." He nods slowly. "All right. But be smart about it. Rich people don't like being exposed. They fight dirty when cornered. I'm not trying to corner anyone. I just want the truth on record. Sometimes the truth is dangerous. Sometimes it's the only thing worth having. I spend the afternoon on routine calls, but my mind keeps drifting to tonight. Evelyn's townhouse, the practice session, the careful reframing of what I am in Ava's life. At 4 p.m., I'm replacing fluorescent bulbs in a law office when my phone rings. Ava. Hi, baby. How's your day? Good. Yours? Busy. Listen, I'm going to be late tonight. Mother has some dinner planning meeting that apparently requires my input. Dinner planning? Is that what we're calling it? No problem. I'll grab something on the way home. You're the best. Oh, and Marcus? Don't wait up. This might run pretty late. Sure. Good luck with the dinner planning. Thanks. Love you. Love you too. I hang up and stare at the phone. She just lied to me, casually, easily, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Not dinner planning. Practice explaining why our marriage doesn't count. But she said she loved me, and somewhere, buried under all the evidence and recordings and careful documentation, part of me still believes that's true. The question is whether love without respect means anything at all. At 6 p.m., I'm parked across the street from Evelyn's Beacon Hill townhouse. 3 stories of red brick and black shutters, the kind of old money elegance that whispers rather than shouts. Cars are arriving, expensive sedans, a few town cars with drivers. I recognize some of the faces from charity events, board members, major donors, the kind of people who write checks with lots of zeros. At 6:45, Ava arrives in her BMW. She's changed clothes, now wearing a navy dress that says serious but approachable, the kind of outfit you wear when you need to explain difficult things to traditional people. I watch her walk up the front steps, shoulders straight, confident stride. She belongs here completely. This is her world, her people, her legacy, and I'm the problem they're meeting to solve. The recording device is ready in my collar, but I can't just walk up to the front door. I need a way inside that doesn't involve explanations or invitations. Then I remember Evelyn's townhouse has a garden level entrance for catering deliveries. I helped Ava carry flowers through that door for her mother's birthday party last year. If I can get close to that entrance, maybe I can hear enough to matter. At 7 p.m. exactly, I cross the street and walk around to the alley behind the townhouse. The garden level windows are partially open, warm evening, fresh air circulation. I can hear voices from inside, multiple conversations, the clink of glasses, polite laughter, a dinner party in progress. I move closer to the windows, staying in the shadows. Rich people's gardens have lots of decorative shrubs, perfect cover for someone who doesn't belong. Then, Evelyn's voice, clearer than the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention. I press closer to the window and activate the recording device. As you know, Thursday's vote represents a pivotal moment for our company. Success will require careful attention to public perception during the transition period. Murmurs of agreement from the room. Which brings me to a sensitive topic that several of you have raised, the question of family optics and how they align with our corporate values. My heart pounds. This is it. The practice session from Lena's calendar. Ava, darling, would you share your thoughts on maintaining traditional image standards? A pause. Then Ava's voice, careful and measured. Of course, Mother. I think it's important to distinguish between private companionship and public representation. I close my eyes and let the words wash over me. My wife, practicing how to explain that our marriage is private companionship, that I'm not really her husband in any way that matters to these people. The recording device captures every word, every careful euphemism, every polite way of saying I don't count. When it's over, when the donors have moved on to discussing quarterly projections and tax implications, I walk back to my car through the Boston darkness. 5 files now, a complete picture of who my wife really is when she thinks I can't hear her. Thursday, the board votes on the merger. After that, she'll have no more excuses for treating me like a secret, and I'll have no more reasons to pretend this marriage is something it's not.